So, I want to talk a little bit more about um, jobs and services, and something that I've been really annoyed with, and it gets in the way of many people with disabilities, neurodivergence, but also just in general in life, and that is problems with planning stuff, getting contact with people, and executive dysfunction, and red tape in general. Scheduling, when I'm have with a hospital to schedule someone, it can take it can take hours of phone calls, and even with something really important message, and I have had this in the past, I don't get a response. I have to phone them and get talk to a human being, and some of this is actually required by law, some of it isn't. But I have to talk to a human being, and the human being often to get information, and then there's always insurance problems back and forth, and it's so many phone calls. But if you're sick or not feeling well, or you have anxiety calling people, auditory processing problems, and all these other things, that's really hard. Or it's really hard to take time off to do all these talks and scheduling. Why can't they have a future to send you a simple email or text and not make it complicated? And with scheduling stuff, and then you could just do it, and it could really help people that are not feeling well, have executive dysfunction problems, like have anxiety. It could really help also people that don't have a lot of time in their lives, and it would just make everything go more smoothly. Which the faster it goes, the faster you can get a diagnosis and get help. But it also goes for any things. I've had problems with online orders with it, and systems that there's not a clear system to do it. Now, oftentimes when they put a system in the place, they make it very complicated and confusing, which doesn't help either. Whereas things, so making these systems simple could help so many people, and then you can move on. However, I'm saying, like, with doing stuff by text and email and everything, there is a problem when the system becomes too much, and that can be a problem with like Xfinity and stuff, which recently again messed up my internet. Really mad is that getting to a human being can take forever and ever and ever, and these automatic systems can't answer all your calls. So the first thing I want to say is that before I wasn't talking about a fully automated system. I'm talking about having automated for like the simple stuff, but having a way to text a person or email a person back and forth would be very useful instead of always talking. However, if you could have a representative that could gain, but sometimes there's troubles that you have to talk to a person. These people don't seem like they talk to each other. They don't pass their case files well. They and the phone, and with any automated system, there's going to be problems. It might not recognize your accent. It might have problems recognizing your spelling, or some other language barrier. It might not recognize the specific way you communicate, such as maybe instead of saying yes, you said I, which also means yes, or some other word or some other way of saying the same thing but means something slightly different, or it's a very weird case by case scenario. Then you need a human being that can just comprehend language at a higher level. Some people also have trouble texting and typing and stuff like that, or want to talk to a person because it's an in moment thing that they need to talk through. But big companies are not required to hold such a service well, and hospitals are not required to hold such a service well. Everything, and it's a major disability problem, and we really should pass some laws for at least the major people to do it. I'm not saying the minor companies that your mom and pop up, but major tech giants to make it. Instead, they built these really confusing systems. And the thing is, if you mess up in these confusing systems, they might be able to charge you more money because you might miss a payment or something. Or they have ways saying putting blame on you, saying you're the one that messed up. A bunch of things like that could occur. Well, thank you very much for listening. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers in a year, which is really, really hard. Oh, and 4,000 watts hours. Oh yeah, one last thing is having more technicians could be a that talk to you could help with a lot of job creation potentially in the service industry and for places that don't have enough time to hire people. What they could also do is instead of hiring people just plain outright, they could have people take little breaks and be customer support or customer support do other things. And by changing up what they do back and forth with little breaks, stuff they can get more well rounded in the company, but also might give them a change of pace, which might be good. Thank you very much. Goodbye.